the Chamber with an optimistic sense. We've been calling for days, weeks now, that the Council speaks out with one voice, with a united voice, to let the people of Afghanistan know that we're not looking away. It's an urgent situation on the ground. We think it should be reflected as an urgent task for the Security Council. And I'm glad to see that the draft that we hope to have adopted today has strong language in there, both on the human rights side, on the humanitarian issues that are so critical right now, whether that's access to food and water or indeed basic medical care. We know there are big issues on the ground, but also that we see that there's safe and secure and safe, orderly opportunity for Afghans and for foreign nationals to leave. So the language in the resolution on security is important. But of course, I will highlight what's really critical in this resolution when we look at the fundamental rights, is that the women and girls' rights are properly respected. We've heard assurances from the Taliban. We now want to see action, and so we're calling for the full, equal and meaningful participation of women in whatever follows by way of a government. We will call for that to be an inclusive arrangement, but I want to underline that we've all seen the images of women standing at the airport. We know there are women with children behind closed doors afraid to come on the streets. We want to make sure that whatever the Security Council says today respects human rights. There's international law, international humanitarian law, international rights that we want to see respected. And I will repeat to the Taliban that we want to see action. Words are fine, they can be cheap. We want to see that respected and reflected in action.
Ambassador, would you ask for a briefing from the permanent members of the Council after they are meeting with the Secretary General today?
I didn't fully understand your question. Would I ask?
The Secretary General is meeting the permanent members of the Security Council today. Would you want to know what happened in that meeting? Would you ask for a briefing from the permanent members?
Well, I'm constantly speaking to the permanent members, so I fully expect to hear from them what the Secretary-General says. Of course, I've also spoken with the Secretary-General towards the end of last week. We know he's taken a very strong, courageous stance on this issue. We want to see all 15 members of the Council speak with one voice, and Ireland, as an elected member, has been doing our utmost, including right through the weekend, working with members of the P5 to ensure that our views are respected. So I expect to have a full readout, of course, but also to continue to work as 15. The Security Council has 15 members at the table, and we're very proud to be one of them, and in less than 48 hours to become the President of the Council. So yes is the answer. Thank you.
Thanks very much. To mandate the UN to take care of the airport and surrounding area. Who are the partners that are mentioned in the draft resolution?
Well, today is early to answer very practical questions in terms of detail. As you know, later in the month, the role of the UN in the form of UNAMA will be an issue that the Council will directly address. The Secretary-General, of course, has a duty of care to all staff on the ground, but also the humanitarian work that's been called for in this resolution, we know, will be carried out by many UN agencies and the UN. When we get to the 9th of September, that may be Freud telling me the 9th of January, when we get to the 9th of September, we look forward to having an opportunity to look at the role of the UN on the ground then.
Thanks, guys. See you later.